if your flight's delayed, if you miss your flight, if you lose your luggage, travel insurance will take care of it. Like, that is the power of travel insurance.
This year, blessing, money, testimony. Go to follow.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Yo, it's hot. You guys can probably see it in how shiny I am because I'm high key sweating. But welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlotte. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you'll enjoy it. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that the content that I will be bringing out will be to your liking. So, quick update. What have I been up to? It's been work. Yo, guys, I live at work. Yo, I reside. Kwamlungu. Ngihlala kwamlungu. But I'm not complaining, because lately I've been in this phase where, like, I literally appreciate everything that is happening in my life. Like, I have reached a point of being content that I don't think I've ever been at in my entire life. And that for me is a big thing. You know, we always imagine that happiness is going to be when you reach a certain level of success, or when you have this and when you have that, and then you'll be happy. But, like, I'm learning that it's actually akukho njalo. Um, like, I'm happy with the people that I've kept in my life. I'm happy with the people I've let go of. Like, I don't have any grudges. Like, I'm just happy. Like, I go to work and I'm happy, and I come back home and I'm happy with my space and I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with my family. I'm happy with my friends when I do hang out with them. I'm just a happy child. I'm just a happy child. And yo, guys, it's taken such a long time. It's taken such a long time. And people who know me on a personal level will probably understand exactly what I'm talking about because I have been through it. Huh? I have been through it. And Maktiwa, this is her season. This is my season, son. This is my season. God is just like, your time to shine, you know? And yeah, that's just a quick update on how I've been feeling in general. Very grateful for the blessings I have in my life. Um, very grateful for everything, actually, whether good or bad. Yeah, so good this side. So um, today I'm actually off. So the plan was to do a bit of cleaning up in my place, and then, sorry, I'm just looking at myself on the screen, and I keep looking ghetto. It's time for this hair to go. So in a couple of days, it's gonna be gone. So today I'm actually off, and the plan is just to clean my place up. Have it looking spick and span, smelling fresh. You know. And then also the actual purpose of this video, I did say in my previous vlog that I'm going to um, do a video where I talk in detail about what to know before you go to Europe. Just little tips, the visa process, and all of that. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Um, and then I'm gonna rest, yo. Like, okay, I sleep a lot. I sleep a lot, and even when I'm off, I sleep. I think that's why I'm happy because I don't have any time to interact with human beings where they have a chance to make me unhappy. I don't have a lot of time that I spend on anything that can make me unhappy. I'm always sleeping, so what could possibly upset me, you know? So, yeah, that's today. And then a couple of chats here and there. Um, and then, yeah. I hope you guys will enjoy this video. I hope it'll be insightful. I hope that you will use it. Because like I said, I think I'm not sure, I can't remember if I mentioned it in one of my videos that the girlies are traveling, the girlies are jet setting, they are globe trotting. But I looked for all this information and I couldn't find it. I think there was one person, Nakona, like she gave the information but didn't quite give the information, if you get what I mean. It was there, but it was not there. So hopefully I don't do the same. And when somebody actually searches for this, my video does pop up and it's insightful and it gives people the information that they need. And yeah. And then the girls can travel. The girls can travel. Um, I want to start planning my next holiday, but I'm not quite decided on the dates and stuff like that. And I saw somebody post a video on TikTok about booking.com having like a Black Friday sale thing. The good thing about booking.com is that you can also like book now and pay later. But the thing is, I'm scared of doing that because I don't know if I'm going to stick to the dates. So I need to speak to Ndase about it so we can just like seal it in with a date and we can be able to book accommodation and then we'll do flights later. Also, if we do decide to change our minds, at least we haven't like lost our money. We can just cancel it with no cancellation fee and then we rebook. Right? It is what it is. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the second part of this video where I will be talking about um, things to know when you're going to Europe, the visa process, and just nitty gritty things that you have to know before you go on holiday. We are holiday girls this side. We are holiday girls this side. Hope you enjoy it. See you later. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Today is Wednesday morning. It's when today's Wednesday. It's not Wednesday morning. Today is Wednesday. So yesterday I ended up not filming because I wasn't feeling well. So I ended up in bed. I went on my monthlies and I ended up just lazing around the whole day. So here's the part of the video that we said we were gonna. I just want to get a glass of water. I put my vase on the floor and now I'm trying to break it. Okay, so we are gonna talk about the visa process and things that you just need to be prepared for if you're traveling to Europe, right? So, with regards to the visa, you have one of two options. The first option is to do it entirely on your own, and then the second option is to do it through an agency that will assist you. We did it with the second option, which was the agency that assisted us. But I think now that I think about it, there isn't really much that they assist you with other than notifying you when it's ready, just checking your papers when you get to the appointment just to see if everything is in order and all of that. Now that I've done it through an agency for the first time and I know what they want, I don't think that I would do it through an agency again, my opinion. But if you're the type of person that just prefers for everything to just be smooth and if you always need someone to blame, then you can definitely go through the agency route, right? So first things first, if you're traveling via a travel agency, they will generally provide you with like the guidelines of what you need for your visa. And then they will direct you to a company that will either assist you, or generally the people at travel agencies are aware of the requirements that are needed for the particular country that you're going to. So a lot of people expected me to know this, And I understand why they expected me to know this because I worked in the travel industry for 5 years. However, in the 5 years that I worked in the travel industry, the bulk of my work was um, the Far East, which is Asia, your Dubai, your Abu Dhabi, Australia, India. So I never worked with Europe. Like there were different departments in the in the companies I worked for, and different people did different things. So I happened to be working with Asia. If you ask me about Asia now, in my sleep, I can answer you. But Europe, clueless, completely clueless. All right. So your agency will generally provide you with a guideline. This you can also find on Google. Ooh, it's a bit loud. Let me just close the door. So your agencies will provide you with all this stuff, but literally, if you go on Google, guys, you will find this. You will find the guidelines, you will find the visa application form. So, this is what the checklist looks like. This one is, it says visas and passports unlimited. So, this is your guideline of what you need to have in order to apply for your visa. There are a whole bunch of things, obviously, depending on your situation as a person and all of that. So, the first thing on here says lodgement center locations. You need to know exactly which lodgement center you're going to go to. There's one in Durban, there's one in Pretoria, there's one in Cape Town, and then there's one in Johannesburg. We went to the one in Johannesburg because that's the closest one to us. This is where you're going to go and do your biometrics. What's happening? My camera looks funny. Does that look better? I think so. Okay, so this is where you're gonna do your biometrics and submit all your documentation. I think it's my glasses that are dirty. That's the problem. I keep seeing funny, thinking like something's wrong with my camera, but no, my glasses are dirty. Okay, so you need to know which lodgement center is the closest to you so that you can be able to go for your appointment. In our case, we did not choose our own appointment date. So the travel agent that was assisting us just sent us an email and was just kind of like, on this date, show up. Okay, so we did that. And then for South African passport holders, you do have to appear in person. This takes us back to the lodgement center thing. So you do have to appear in person. You cannot do this virtually. You cannot, like, you have to go there physically, right? And then obviously you need a passport because you need a passport to travel to a foreign country. And then on this checklist, there are a bunch of things that we ended up not using, but they request them. So your passport, your ID, then you need an application form. The application form being one of the things they requested, but they actually didn't take. This is what the application form looks like. It's got all your details and everything. You put your address, you put the date of issue of your passport, the expiry date, you put if you're single or married, you put who invited you to the country or your reason for travel, you put in how long you're going to be in the country, and right? And then you also need passport photos. Be careful when you take your passport photos because I went and took really, really nice passport photos, but they ended up rejecting them. So this is my passport photo. Focus. Focus. Okay, it doesn't want to focus. So this is my passport photo, a really nice one that I took, but they rejected it because I was wearing my spectacles. So be careful if you want to use your nice pictures, make sure you're not wearing spectacles. So they ended up taking some ghetto ass picture of me because on the day of our appointment, like I was looking like hell and I knew it. And I wasn't expecting to have a picture taken of me. But yeah, my visa now has a picture of me looking ghetto as hell. Okay, and that's your photos. And then you need a full itinerary. So EU countries need to know that you know exactly what you're going to be doing while you're going to their countries. They don't want you wandering around not having a plan. So you need to have a full breakdown, an itinerary of what you're going to be doing on each day. If you're going to be going on a city tour, a cruise like we did. If you're gonna be whatever that you're gonna be doing on the days, just tell them what you're gonna be busy with. So that's the full itinerary. The full itinerary will also give an indication of when you're flying in and out of the country. It will have dates and all of that. And then you need your flight tickets, your car rental, train tickets, ferry tickets, or bus tickets. So any mode of transport that you're going to be taking, either between cities or between the EU countries, you need to put all that information in there so that they know how you're getting. If you're going to be flying from one part to another, if you're going to be driving, if you're going to be taking a ferry, you need to put all of that in there. So you need copies of that. And then you need to have proof of accommodation. This is confirmation that you're going to be staying from the state to the state. Even if you're staying in different cities or different parts of Europe, you need to have like a clear breakdown of where you're going to be staying throughout the duration of your holiday. If you are cruising, then you need documentation for cruising as well. And then there is a part here that says invitation letter. Not everybody's going to have an invitation letter. So if you're traveling on business, you'll have an invitation letter. If you're traveling for sports, cultural, or religious events, you'll have an invitation letter. If you're traveling for school, you'll have an invitation letter. In our case, we also had well, you can call it an invitation letter. Whew, sorry. um you can call it an invitation letter because we were sponsored to go on the holiday. So our sponsor wrote a letter to say that we are going to sponsor so and so to go on a trip to Europe from these days to these days, or the reason for the travel, or whatever the case might be. And then they also want your employment letter. So, an employment letter will state where you work, when you started, if you are permanent or contracted, whether they have given you permission to go on leave, and when you are returning to work. So, this is what that letter needs to have. So, at your workplace, they need to write out a letter, and this is what it has to say with the company letterhead and everything. If you are a student, then obviously you won't have a letter of employment. You will have your proof of registration, which gives proof that you are a student in South Africa. This is what you're studying. This is when you were registered and all of that. The reason for this, guys, is because they need to know that you're going to come back home. Because if you don't have any proof of what you're doing in South Africa, there's a very high chance that you might decide to not come back to South Africa. So they need to know for sure that this person has a job that they need to go back to so they don't stay in our country, right? Okay. And then they also need a copy of your payslip. I know, right? At this point, when I was doing this, at this point, I was just like, do you want my blood type? Do you want my blood type? Because why? Why do you need my payslip? Another reason why I felt that things like your payslips and your employment letters were unnecessary was because our trip was fully sponsored. You don't have to know what I'm doing. You don't need my payslip. Why do you want my payslip? So yeah, they want your payslip, and then I've already mentioned students, your proof of registration, confirming attendance, and all of that. And then a very important thing, travel insurance. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Like, even even in cases where it's not for visa purposes, please just get travel insurance. Please just get travel insurance. It's not that expensive. It's not going to break the bank. But the peace of mind that comes with travel insurance is the same peace of mind that comes with having medical aid. It's the same. If anything happens to you in a foreign country, God forbid you actually die in that country, it's going to be close to impossible for your family to bring you back. Do you understand? If you have travel insurance, you've got all of that covered. Your family wouldn't have to worry about all of that. If you get injured, if your holiday gets cut short, if your flight's delayed, if you miss your flight, if you lose your luggage, travel insurance will take care of it. Like, that is the power of travel insurance. Like, it almost anything that can go wrong on holiday will be fixed by travel insurance. Please get travel insurance. You definitely will not get your visa if you do not have travel insurance. For that reason, like, if you get sick, if you die, and all of that, what the hell is France supposed to do with your body? Do you get me? So travel insurance is very, very important. Um it must be specific to the state in which you're visiting. So, different travel insurance companies have it broken down into states. So, there's one that is for Asia, there's one for Europe, there's one for this is because all the costing is worked out based on the place that you're going to. Obviously, medical care is not the same price in South Africa as it would be in Europe. So, when you're going to Europe, they have to have insurance that is made for the European economy. Do you understand? And then it has to have a minimum coverage of 30,000 euros. So basically, your insurance must have a minimum coverage of that in case anything happens to you. And then it must be for the duration of your stay, obviously, and it must also include evacuation, repatriation, and emergency transportation. This is what I'm talking about. If you ever need to come back home in case of emergency, if you ever need to be transported as a corpse, travel insurance will do that for you. So that one's very important. They do not accept travel insurance quotes. So this is the one thing that you actually have to pay for, like, actually pay for before you book your trip and everything. With regards to the accommodation and flights, I know that places like Flight Center will give you a flight itinerary for a small fee if you do tell them that it's for visa purposes. Because I do not advise booking your flights prior to getting your visa, because what if it gets rejected? So you can get, I think it's like 250 or 300 or something. You can get your flight itinerary, and then you can use it for your visa application. And also, with places, I'm not sure if they accept booking.com, but it would be like the same kind of concept where you have free cancellation. You take that confirmation and you use it for your visa application. But even if your visa gets rejected, it's free cancellation for the accommodation. So that you can do with flights and accommodation. However, you cannot do that with travel insurance. Travel insurance, you actually have to purchase for your visa application. And then the next thing that it's a lot. I even have to hydrate, bruh. I was going through the most when I had to do this. And then the next thing that you need to have is your bank statement. Okay. This one is mad tricky because this is the part that will give you anxiety. This is the part that can make or break you getting um, a visa. The reasons for this is because when I searched online, there was quite a bit of confusion around how much you actually have to have in your account as a minimum amount per day. So they work it out per day. So here are the different situations that you could visit for. Firstly, you're either visiting for holiday, or you are invited by a family member or a friend, or you're going on business, or you are going for medical reasons, or school, or whatever. In the case where you are going on holiday, you will either book your accommodation before or you won't, right? In the case where your accommodation is booked, it needs to be a certain amount. In the case where your accommodation is not booked, it needs to be a certain amount. In the case where you are visiting a friend or a family, it needs to be a certain amount. In the case where you are traveling for business, it needs to be a certain amount. So their minimum amount per day differs based on all of those situations. In our case, we did have accommodation booked. Um, we were going on holiday, and our holiday was also sponsored. So all of those three things count. So in our case, we had to have a minimum of 65 euros per day. Per day. This can go all the way up to you having to have 130 euros in your account per day. So basically, it's proof of funds that you are showing them. You just print a bank statement for the last 3 months, and on the day of your appointment, this bank statement needs to be no older than 14 days. Does that make sense? On the day of your appointment, the statement must not be older than 14 days, and it must be for the last 3 months, and it must reflect the amount based on your situation. So, whether you are staying with family or friends, whether you are funded, whether you are going on holiday, there will be a specific amount that needs to be in your account per day. Okay, and then I told you. I told you. Do you understand that? Like, this is just like, it's the second page at least, but it was a lot. And then up next, the rest of this is basically things that didn't quite. Um, so the rest of this is foreign passport holders, what foreign passport holders need to have, um, if you were traveling to your spouse or traveling as a minor or traveling on an EU passport, what you need to have, as well as the processing time. When we got there, they told us that the processing time is about 15 working days. Yeah, we got our visas at about 14 working days. And then you fill this, once you've filled in your, oh, one more thing. Another thing that your travel agency will probably also tell you to include in this pack is your vaccine certificate if you are vaccinated. Should they ask for it, make sure you have it. Um, they told us to have it, but they didn't ask for it. So it was a just in case kind of situation, but they did also tell us to travel with it in case at the airport they ask for it, or wherever, or the hotel, blah, 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 right? So you basically fill in the form, and then this is the name of the company that assisted us, Capago. I will link it on the side and with their contact details and everything. So there is the visa checklist, which you will fill in, and then there is also the Capago checklist, which you will also tick once you've completed everything. You'll tick that you've completed it, and then that goes along with your visa application form and all of those documents that I just mentioned. Right. Fun times. So when your visa is ready, um, the embassy will call you and tell you that your visa is ready. If you are doing it via an agency, the agency will call you and tell you, actually, they won't call you. When you go for your appointment, they will ask you how you would like your visa to be delivered, and then you will then tell them if you would like it to be couriered or if you will pick it up. In our case, we had to say that we will pick it up because inside where you do your visa appointment, the Capago people are actually not allowed. So the Capago people escort you up until the door, and then you go into the appointment by yourself. So the Capago people aren't allowed, but they advised us that when they ask us how we're going to pick up our passports, we must say that it will be self pickup. That is because they now have consent to fetch our passports for us. If you opt for your passports to be couriered to you, I believe they can do this via Postnet, and in some instances, the agencies use Pep Paxi. I'm not sure about that. You would just have to find out depending on the agency that you're using. But with Capago, um, they picked up the passports and then they went and dropped them off at Mdasi's place because she lives in Joburg. And then I got mine from her. Great. So that's all you need to know. Once your passport has arrived, everything is done. I can't find my passport. I wanted to show you guys what it looks like inside your what the visa looks like inside your passport. But since I can't find it, I'll just put a picture on the side so that you guys can see what it comes back looking like. And then you're ready for holiday. Coolios. So that's that on visas. Cool stuff. Okay, and then I also just wanted to chat about things to be aware of before you visit Europe. Um, we only visited one part of Europe, so this is going to be very much based on what we experienced in France. So when you get to to the hotel, we didn't know this, but we had to pay a city tax. I remember actually telling myself that I had to remember this figure, but like now I'm blank. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was something like 10 to 15 euros or 20 euros or something like that. But yeah, this we didn't expect this, but it wasn't too bad. It's a city tax that you pay when you get to the hotel. It's non-refundable. And then one thing that they also do in the hotel is credit card authorizations in the hotels. They do credit card authorizations so that if you do want to have extras and all of that, so they don't just run a bill and hope that you're going to pay it by the time you leave. No, they actually take your credit card details so that um, if you do run away after drinking bottles of Verve, they can still charge it. So credit card authorizations and the city tax. And then another thing, which was a culture shock, or if I can call it a culture shock, people in France are very bakuluma ngolaga, right? And it's not that bakuluma ngolaga, that's just how they are. But they sound like they are fighting. So a lot of the time, Tase and I had to keep calm because this person is shouting at me, gahle gahle, but they're actually not shouting at you. So beware of that. They can come across as very firm and rude, and that's not how they are. It's just that's not they aren't being rude. That's just how they are. So that was one of the things. It's very safe to walk at night, so that was really nice for us because whenever we felt like we wanted to go out for dinner, we were able to. We were able to have our phones out. Beware though of pickpocketers in parts that are a little bit crowded. You'll have these little street corners where they're doing the little tricks in the corner. Pickpocketers thrive in those situations. But in the case where you're just walking on the sidewalk to a restaurant, it was fine. And then in terms of cost of food, it wasn't bad at all. I think on average for a meal, you'll pay about 80 euros for two people because like a juice will be like on average between 9 and 14 euros, and a meal between maybe 15 and 25 euros. So you're looking at about 40 euros per person. That's dinner. 80 for two. And I say 80 for two because it sounds like it's little, and there it isn't that bad at all. But when you convert it to the rand, it's not little. It's not little. It's not little at all. Like it's a lot. But yeah, so try to be prepared financially before you go to Europe more than anything. Like if there's two things that you need to be prepared for, it's your visa and financially you need to be strong. Heck, you need to be strong. So yeah, I hope that was helpful, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that mm, like I said, if somebody is looking for this information, that my video will be helpful. Thank you for watching. Thank you for chilling with me. I will see you on the next one.